get back to work, you assholes. Okay. If you have no intention on standing up for the Lord's Prayer publicly and letting everybody know that you do and it's perfect, if you want to live in the kingdom of heaven, you're going to have to largely depend on me. And if you make it through, you might want to keep to your fucking self. You might not want to come around me. I think you'll feel like shit. You know? When I go to the store and I stay for like 4 hours and stuff, it's not anything sadomasochistic. You know, it's mostly for the kids that are in there. You know, the ones that work there. You know, they can't get up and leave. They can't shop real fast. You know, they've got to work their whole shift no matter what. Right? Jeff's got to work his whole shift no matter what. Bono's got to work his whole shift no matter what. Alex has to work 12 hours. He doesn't have an option. He's got to pay for the Freon air conditioning at his apartment complex, you know, which is probably, you know, covered in his rent. Right. And, you know, we share caregiving accordance and built to last. There's a way to have water-cooled cooling systems that are healthy and the universal solvent. You know, if you cool the water and have a water-cooled system to cool the air, even in places where there's high humidity, if you're building the houses properly. And putting them in proper, you know, things, and you're also, you know, the ecosystem's working properly. You know, how did people live in Missouri before the great Freon factory of death? I don't know. How did we live before we had the motor car? I don't know. How did they live before there was refrigerated air conditioning? They did, man. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. They lived everywhere. They lived here. The Apache people lived here. There was no refrigerated air conditioning. What about water-cooled systems and stuff? You know, there was the fan, and they used to have water, the fan, and the box, and then, you know, and this stuff. And people came up with, you know, relative forms of communications, ideas, if you want to call it an idea. Yeah. Past, present, future operate at the same time. What fucks up all our ideas is selfishness. And so you don't really have good ideas if you looked at your fucking stupid ass TV commercials with the goddamn fucking CGI bears wearing green glasses made with them. What we've done with these glasses is your face is fucked and you should stop fucking talking. How did we survive before sunglasses? How did we survive before prescription lenses? Right, we found a way. You think people had astigmatism and blah, 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 blah. You think people, the thing is a lot of the main causes of people not being able to see real good, not being able to have taste or smell real good, you know, those are our natural defenses. I told everybody that during COVID. If you can't taste and smell real good, if you don't know, hi, there's gas in the air. Oh, shit, I think we're going to die. You know, you don't have those natural defenses. You know, your senses are astute because, you know, okay, there's somebody coming to kill me. I can hear that. Cheyenne. You know what I mean? And so you got to understand, assholes. This has nothing to do with evolution. This has nothing to do with survival of the fittest. Okay. It has to do with life is eternal. Grace is infinite. Share, care, given accordance to need, built to last. Okay. Darwin was trying to be a good Christian. He had bad information, and he was trying to make good information out of bad information. And Darwin was wrong. If Darwin had read the Quran and not just been limited to the Bible, he would have said, oh, here's what Muhammad said. that was corrupted in the Bible in Genesis. It's like, right. And he said that. He put some corrections in there, you know, about the two bodies colliding and forming the atmosphere for the earth for us to live, right? He was just stealing good scientific information from hardworking scientists. You know why your work is hard, asshole? Because you're a selfish fucking cow. You want to work good because you're living Proverbs and Psalms and the Lord's Prayer there? No, you want to be successful. You are such a fucking cow. Nobody likes you, right? No. The only people that you think like you are just as big of a selfish cow as you, and they don't really like you. They're just like you. Could you understand? Yeah. You think you have friends, you don't. You have selfish cows. They say it's not time to live the Lord's Prayer yet. We got to kill all the people that are selfish cows. Okay, why are you trying to kill yourself? Because they got lots of hard work to do. You know why the work is hard, right? Because you're a selfish cow. Fuck! I had dreams all night last night about Jennifer Lopez and being in a band and all this shit, and then work up with big Bertie Higgins in my head, and Maurice White and Earth, Wind and Fire, and you're like, God damn. Yeah, I met Maurice White. It was not a pleasurable experience. But you just said all the people that were with him were selfish cows that need to pay their bills and are talented enough to pay their bills, so Maurice White can use them with his selfishness. Yes, it's sickness. It's disturbed, down with the sickness. It's like Connor said about Disturbed and their drummer, and about Larry Mullins, and about it. He goes, no, I think they're all kind of little, neurotic and narcissistic and have ego problems. Yeah. I think every one of them, I think if you met them, they would all have this neurotic, narcissistic ego problem. You have to have that to be successful. Like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Oh, shit, you're right. They seem nice, but that's how they survive hell. Eddie Johnson, Tom Chambers, so and so. And the business is hell. Okay. Adam Silver is like Dan, is like Stern, and Stern is, he's just an extension of that. And Larry O'Brien wasn't as nice as you think. He the whole reason why the owners were such shitheads to Johnson and Williams and Greedy and treating them like circus gimmicks is because that was the group. And now the group is, well, we got black guys that do it and homosexual women that can do it, but it's the same fucking group. It's evolved? No, it's not evolving, okay? You're adapting. That's what me and that two young ladies were talking about at what's the name of that place? Rudy's Barbecue. So it's not evolution. Darwin was wrong. Okay, it's adaptation. Okay. They see evolution as adaptation. Okay. You drink enough beer, you pickle your liver. Is that evolution? Okay. You're just evolving and killing yourself because of your adaptation to your environment, right? But they call it evolution. It's a perception, but it's not a good perception, because it's limiting yourself to planet Earth and saying this is the natural way we do things on planet Earth and naturally adapt because this is what's naturally happening. And that's not true. It's the same thing with Einstein supporting that man's theory about the sun naturally baking the earth. It's like, that's not true either. You have to keep, guys, in order to bake something in a microwave, you have to plug it in, turn it on, and hit the thing, right? Okay, so global warming economics, just look at it as you're cooking something in a microwave because you think you have to. Oh, yeah, you're not taking into account the human factor, the hidden bummer factor. John with the hidden bummer factor. Well, it should take this long, but that's if this part's broken, then I got to send off to Colorado for that. It takes a month to get it. And, that's a hidden bummer factor, right? And so, but hopefully, technically, we should be able to go in there, blow it out 35 minutes to an hour. Okay, cool. Typically, it was me and John, and we did the maintenance, and we kept that stupid water-cooled air conditioning system working. And a couple of times we had the other Mexican guy that came in that reminds me of Pablo Canales that had to work on it. He was the expert. and he had to do, and it was a real pain in the ass, and it was an old system, and it was, and you had to send all the parts you had to send to Colorado for. It wasn't a question of if, it was a question of when the whole system would have to be replaced. Well, because we're working hard and we're economists and we're successful, and ends justifies the means, and you know what I'm saying? And so you just got to come to terms with it. There are a lot of people trying to be good in hell. There are more people trying to be good in hell than people being tortured hideously because they work harder than anybody else on the planet in heaven. And heaven is near Earl. And hell is anywhere that you run around working hard, saying ends justifies the means, and pretend heaven don't exist, right? To be in heaven is to be near the Messiah. Okay. To be in hell is to be far from the Messiah and never want to be around him and be like him. And so hell, we're not going to say, hi, because that's heaven. We want to live in heaven. We want everybody to live in heaven. That's high. That's not for you. You don't deserve high. If you get a high, it's because you work hard for it with your fuck money, and we don't like your fuck money. Just another day in paradise. Yeah, we're here, the city outside. We're both dying. We're fucking and dying, and enjoying Bogey and Bacall movies. Yeah, shit, like they tried to do with me with Miss Pettis, good old Homeland Security and NASA and all that, you think you were playing me, but who was playing you? Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Okay. Those Malones, I understand. Peggy comes from a very bad family. She tells everybody that. She wanted the hell out. But you never gave her a chance to get out. You sent her to Clint College. Because your tribalism, you impulse people, right? And all the girls, I know, all the girls I dated couldn't get impulsed out of their culture. Maria had to go live Nick Cannon culture on the East Coast for black culture and couldn't go live in Flagstaff to get away from the death of black culture. And that one black man up there saying, they treat us good up here. It's what we should, it's better to live in Flagstaff and live a longer, healthier life with white folks that don't understand your culture too good. And have you going to the Shakespearean, Flagstaff Shakespearean Festival than it is to go down and live in Charlotte and die from all the pollution and have all the niggas, try to sleep with your husband because, they're trying to get on the Real Housewives of Atlanta through Charlotte, and you're like, yeah, I know. Just trust me, I've been there, done that, right? And the group activity, the group brain activity, the more people you get together that are competitive and tribal, secular, insular, the more fighting you have, the more Fair Verona you have. And so welcome to Atlanta, welcome to Charlotte, welcome to Orlando. And you just want to get away from that. And I'm the type of person, where are you going to go? I want to go to Flagstaff or Silver. It's a Mexican community with a lot of gangbangers and stuff. Yeah, but the group community has people that, combined with a bunch of, crystal blue persuasion. He was born in the summer of it. I study rocks and animals at that very university, right? And so you have so many more little pockets of calm to be able to try to, and if you have one of those guys at the university is some kind of a closet case pervert, he looks at you and smells and goes, like that guy that was selling magazines door to door when I was at Dean Morgan and I was in the towel, and he sized it up and said, I want to be able to get away with the crappy shit I do. I don't want to die today. I want to be Seth MacFarlane, critiquing Stand By Me. Yeah, this is what happened. No, you don't want to ride this fucking train, you little fucking pervert asser. Go get a carrot, go fuck Nora Jones till I've cleaned this place up. Like sunrise, should have seen it in my eyes. Clock's held 9:50. No, the clock on, it's not 9:15. It's stuck on 3 for days and days and days. I go to the store and everybody's dying from fucking cancer. Even the little kids. St. Jude's won't take most of them because there's no hope they'll survive. By the time I come home, I'm completely exhausted because I'm like, Jesus, and you're a fucking hardworking cow for fuck money that lives in all the blessed places and fucks all the best people. And all the dancers want to have sex with you to share your greatness. I want to have dinner with Gershwin. Want to watch Rembrandt sketch. Want to talk theory with Curie. Yeah, he's going to get us all killed. No, you're going to get you killed. You won't stand up for a Lord's Prayer. Yeah, you're like Mexico, so far from God, so close to the United States, right? Or Canada. That bitch rolls over, you're screwed. It's like sleeping next to an elephant. Yeah, that's ego problems for a jackass. They sleep next to an elephant. And if you in politics, a jackass doesn't have to worry about that, does it now? But hey, living as dangerous as dynamite sure makes you feel nervous, but it makes you feel all right. Makes you feel all right. Well, I was born to run, to get ahead of the rest. All I ever wanted was to be the best, just to feel free and be someone. I wanted to be good enough to pay my bills and then get in, get my money and get out and go to Flagstaff, make love to my wife and raise my kids, not to want to stay in the city and die from killing fields in the city. You don't have to, like I told you when I worked at Latch, right? And I sit there and I said, I didn't have these allergies and feel sick and tired as I did growing up in San Pablo as I do living here. I don't think it's the plants like they say for the things on the, the allergies and stuff on the medication things. I think they're full of shit. I think it's the cars. Well, because, like I told Chris, the lady smoked cigarettes, like now where there's a bus right here. And she goes, I need this to relax. I understand, my grandpa did too. And the women in the military I served with also did. So I understand she needs her cigarette. She was smoking downwind from, she just moved and smoked downwind from Chris. And I sat there and told Chris, that bus and these cars are killing us and making us, they're the main cause of killing us, and not this poor lady smoking a cigarette because she just spent all day at a fucked up job with complete assholes. It's basically what I told Chris, and she's like, thank you. Thanks for understanding. Thanks for being such a sweetheart, honey, right? And, well, you know me. I'm the Messiah. Heaven is being near him. Be near me, be near. And once you live like him, you don't have to, you can be in Kalamazoo, Poughkeepsie, Cucamonga, Timbuktu, and I don't have to see you, and you don't have to see me, but we're both living in heaven because you've accepted me into your heart, and you're living the ways of the Messiah. Billy Graham's offspring? Shut the fuck up. You're not beautiful. No, I don't love you dearly. No. Don't appreciate you at all. No. The soul is trapped inside your body. Love it. Can't wait for it to be free from your fucked up little mind. I described that perfectly, didn't I? I got a canvas. What kind of a canvas has a paintbrush to save children from your fucked up, deluded fucking Ruby's bucket of blood mind there, asshole? Thank you. Call 911. Tell me, go LXI. I'm a rookie. Yeah, don't do your best. Do my best. Thank you. Fuck you. Very much, too. Thank you. Let's all get in a plane and go get somebody that was kidnapped and taken to South America to take the baby. Why are you going to take the baby? To torture people. I don't understand. Why don't you just kill them? What are you doing? You Sun Tzu, bitch. You're a boy named Sue. Go beat up Johnny Cash and get drunk or something, but stop talking to me because you suck at it. Well, you listen like hell. Oh, you're working too hard. Why are you working hard? Because you're a selfish fucking gal. I thought we already covered this. God damn, they have drain damage up the ass and around the way. Are you around the way, girl? You ain't no holler back, girl. Well, you can holler back, but you always holler back stupid shit. I like you better when I talk through you on my YouTube than when you talk to people on TV and I see you and go, that's not her. That ain't David Rockefeller, right? I like David Rockefeller better when I talk to him than when you guys talk to him too. But you got to understand, he hated you and he didn't hate me. Okay. You're going to have to kill all these motherfuckers with their own technology. You know that, Parsons. Nah. Oh, they're going to kill themselves. You're just going to set me up in the center of military intel and have them all attack me and kill themselves with their own technology until I can completely assimilate all the technology to accepting truth through math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a big bang, bang. She shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. My baby shot me down. Life's eternal, grace infinite. I ain't worried about shit. I'm just looking at the dragonfly sitting up in the red flowers, which is a red dragonfly. I got lots of red dragonflies this year. I don't have a lot of mosquitoes because I have a lot of dragonflies. Dragonflies like me, and I like them. I do everything I can to cut the herbicides and stuff and keep them at bay and take care of my flowers and my plants to make sure that they're doing as well as they can, free from any kind of chemicals and stuff. And so hummingbirds like me and I like them, finches like me and I like them, dragonflies like me and I like them, and cats like me and I like them, and dogs like me and I like them. And what's the matter? Well, okay, the one's a monarch butterfly. Yeah, it's very pretty. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. Butterflies like me and I like them. Yeah, foxes like me and I like them. What about roosters? Me and roosters never really got along. They don't listen to me. I'll teach you to attack my little sister. You know. So the fox came along and played dad. Dad was like, I shouldn't have fed it. He's not going to leave. He kept standing by the window saying, bring me out more food. It was being, bossy. He thought it was at a restaurant. It's cocky. Yeah, like all of you people that, ends justifies the means. Yeah, our team's going to win because our team's better than their team. Okay, two assholes are fighting over money. One thinks they should win because they're the best. Hard workers. Yeah, you're hardly working. Working is living the Lord's Prayer and then sustaining it with Psalms and Proverbs. Wow. But I love you. Oh, I love you. I do like that song, but you understand the limerick in it and the lack of common sense and reason. It's a lot like evolution, isn't it, though? Yeah. When you explain, gosh, guys, Einstein's supposed to be one of the most intelligent people, okay, in the history of the world. And he could not point out that theory. He supported that theory that guy had. And then there's Earl, totally head fucked, totally abused by all the jealous people that study him from the time he's a baby, right? And he sits down. And then when we were in fucking Phoenix with all that stuff, I was telling everybody, and Earl, you're crazy. I said, first chance I get, I think I'm going to move back home. Cruces. Cruz has gotten bigger and worse, and El Paso's gotten bigger and worse, and I'm in a suburb of Phoenix, I'm in AJ now, but it wasn't AJ then, when I was a kid. It was only, now it's, urban sprawl from, it doesn't end. It goes, Vado, Mesquite, there, it's all big one thing. That's why Doppler Dave talks about us all as one big, cooperation of genocide here, in the valley of the Rio Grande, which it is. And, Linda and Jerry live at the outskirts of it. So Linda and Jerry, where they live, has a little bit better, the ecosystem. Jerry knew what he's doing. He came out, no, I want to buy Ralph's place. I know it's too close to the city. There's too much pollution and shit. I know what I want, and I know where I want to get it. I want to be close enough to go in and see all my kids and stuff and everybody that likes the city, but I don't want to be in the city. Well, Jerry's, like Taza. Okay. Jerry's like Taza. Okay. He knows what he wants to do, and he knows his people, and he loves his people. And then at first, he gets, okay, we got to, assimilate to the white people. And then when he gets with his people, it's like, that's why he told me that one, we're going to win. It's victory. We're going to, And so the thing is, we're going to win back our lands. We're going to win back our way. We're going to win back our culture. We're not going to be murdered off the planet. We believe in USA and the one God. Jesus is just like our Father, and he's right. Okay, the good Father of faith of the Chiricahua and the Mescalero is the same spirit as King David, and so and we all know that because there's one God, and one planet for one reason. I love Haile Selassie too. One heart, let's get together, and you don't break it into tribalism, and Bob didn't. Okay. And that's one of the most beautiful things about Nesta, my cousin, He was like Steph, and Haile. All three of those men. There's a reason why I have portraits of all three of those men with my family portraits up there to, to remind my family if they're ever listening. Sure, if I was my daughter, I would marry Othello too. I always remind myself, So you have to choose to love properly. If you think you're physically yourself, you'll destroy yourself, right? Like me and that man talked about at the checkout thing, and the little lady. And it's hard because they're so taught to believe their tribalism. The one lady asked me for help, and I said, well, yeah, we have a really good electrician, and she goes, how much does he cost? It's, well, you just got to give him beer money. And she said, no, I don't want to hire him then. I was like, but he's really good. Okay, I tried to explain to her, Chilolo's really good. And she said, no, the Lord will provide me a good electrician. I said, I know one, I could get together with my brother-in-law. He's a pastor. And, well, I didn't say that, but I get hold of Jerry and we get Chilolo, and if we go size up your place and look at it, and me and Jerry will help do the contracting, and Chilolo will help me. No, I don't want to, the Lord will provide one for me. I said, well, then NASA will find one, through one of these things. It'll probably cost you more money and not be as fun. I didn't say that, but I'm thinking it, But she didn't want the one the Lord provided because he does it for beer money. Okay? He's one of the best electricians in town. He will do it for you. He was just wanting beer money, and Dad gave him $120 of beer money. That man was in that roof for 2 hours, and he's in his 70s, right? That's like, you're going to feel bad if you don't. Okay. What he did, those people you get on your phone with, WhatsApp and the app of the app of the app of the, there's even an app where you can get a free phone. Yeah, you can call idiots for free on how to make money off of your phone through gambling because they're stimulating the economy so they can move you around the cabin area so they can find ways to get you to volunteer to kill through economic activity and a bad carbon signature print. Oh, I never really thought of it that way. Me either, but you got to understand you're dealing with the people that are solving all our problems with, their math skills. Their math skills suck. Yeah, I know how to kill people and get them to do it and then have a better quality of life after you've murdered everybody that you talked into killing because you're closely related to them and act similar to them. Wait a minute, how's that going to happen? I don't know. How do you free the soul from the mind? You submit to the Lord's Prayer and then sustain it with the faith of Psalms and the wisdom of Proverbs. How many people are capable of doing that? I don't know. It's like the whole owl with the Tootsie Roll center, the fucking Tootsie Pop there. Son of a bitch. Got to move out. You're a G.I. Joe. I have a special assignment for you. I can't tell you for sure. We're the Avenger team, right? Captain Planet sucks again. Captain Planet always really kind of sucked because it was based on fantasy and not reality, because it wasn't based on the Lord's Prayer. It was based on the ego of Ted Turner's group. Oh, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Like Josh Baskin. Yeah, I remember watching that and thinking he's 13 and he just had sex with a 32-year-old and he's got to go back to junior high. You ever worked with kids in lockup that were, quote, sex offenders? Yeah. They reminded me of little old John Alcar, I was 13. I had my 18-year-old aunt was babysitting me and we started having sex and it was the greatest thing in the world. And then she left town and I had to have sex and I couldn't talk other 18-year-olds into having sex with me. So I had to do it with younger people. And my dad hates his sister for it. He wants to kill her. But we didn't want to incarcerate her and get her in trouble. But John did it with other people's kids, and those people weren't as, it wasn't family. And so, yeah, they wanted to incarcerate John and send him to a institution where other guys that are older and tougher and better and like professional wrestling and football and porno and books about war, sodomize him, teach him a lesson. I don't think that's a lesson that it's going to learn, life being eternal and grace being infinite. I don't think that's a very good lesson. I think you all suck. And I think, Master Chow Wang Pao went to prison. I'm in prison. This is my prison cell window. And all you fuckers out there that fuck people in the ass to teach them a lesson, did you get your Discovery for prep? Okay, well, if you volunteer to fuck each other in the ass because that's what you've been doing for tens of thousands of years, you go do that till you drop dead from, your dick being impacted with fecal matter and his rectal integrity, shutting down his colon with a box. But do not think you're teaching anybody a lesson for being sexually compromised by your desire to want to make money to fuck a dumb bitch that acts just like you. I am way the fuck more intelligent than Albert Einstein ever thought about being. And if you don't believe that, you'll try to Brian Cox teach me a fucking lesson with the rest of these assholes around here walking around in combat boots, calling themselves Carl and saying this is Toy Story. You got a friend in me. Yeah. Didn't he also sing Short People? Short people got no reason. Short people. It was just a joke. It was funny. They go around in tiny little cars going beep beep. People don't want no short people around here. It was funny song. Stupid. Yeah, it was very stupid. But it was a big hit, so he became famous. So then somebody else, hey, remember that guy that wrote Short People? Let's make him. I like him. He made me laugh. Let's have him write songs for this toy movie through CGI to get people to keep buying products that were plastic that we sell. Sounds like a Disney Hulu stream me on Hulu plan. This is the night. Let's apply people traits to animals. Well, yeah, because people are suckers for animals, man. You see a poor puppy dog suffering, they'll give you tons of money. It's like orphanages. Yeah, they'll give you tons of money. See poor kids starving and dying from diseases and toxic environments, they'll send you tons and tons and tons of money. Lots of money, and a lot of it's a big tax write-off persons, like the Salvation fucking Army, Selfless fucking Social Services. Yeah, they're such fucking asshole. They take a bunch of retard kids and hire them to make them look like they're great people and treat them like shit and sexually abuse a lot of them because you know how those kids, when you worked in kids, and yeah, I know when I worked in the kids and stuff, they considered a lot of the girls with Down syndrome sexual predators because they were very sexual, like what happened with Derek when my first one-on-ones at NSI, whose sister was 17 and he was 14, and mom was always drunk and at the bar and bringing guys home and having sex and watching porn, and she talked Derek into wanting to have sex, and Derek wanted to have sex too, so he was this big pervert, according to all you sister Christians that vote for president, think money's real, have the Patriot in your house, and have porn being streamed into your kids' heads when they sleep so they don't think romantically, they only think sexually. Yeah. So, yeah, they're more like, that's why you vote for Donald Trump, because you're more like Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein than you think, because you're being trained to be like them. So you have very little empathy, and you'll compete and fight like hell to have sex and dance sexy and look sexy dancing while you're the next professional. You suck. I know. I'm good at this. It's hard, man, when your thoughts go from completely romantic. And I remember telling Natalie that. It's like, Natalie, I don't think that way, and I love you like I love Miriam and Michelle and all the girls in my life when I was young that and that's how I love you. That's how I think about you spiritually. And I would tell her that. So all these thoughts in my head, I know they're those assholes at Fort Huachuca and White Sands, and they're not the way that I would commonly before their capacity to indict with this Wi-Fi. That's why she called me a pervert. And when I said, I was young like you and I used to think like you too. And she looked at me, you pervert. And I was like, she's having the same kind of sexual thoughts. And it's not just Amy planning the thoughts in the head. You don't start thinking that's sexually graphic when you're young. You typically, when you were raised like we were on TV and movies and reaching out, breathless kiss, never thought it ended like this. It was a lot like Me and Law and Roxette and Miami Sound Machine, and Here We Are, and Must Have Been Love. And I tried to explain that to her, and she knew, because she said that, I was sick, this didn't happen because Amy was there, this didn't happen because I was sick and I didn't feel right about the situation. I was like, I knew our spiritual relationship could transcend Brian Cox's jealousy with his other scientific perverts that think they're better than me and haven't been better than me for, over 10,000 years. Their only hope is to try to be as good as me, so then they won't have to worry about who's better at dancing or basketball or singing or the bedroom. Just leave the big fat guy alone. He's going to shoot at you and you're going to get you. I was watching House Party last night. That movie makes me laugh. Steffi, made Steffi laugh. Yeah. It was just poor kids trying to. I have a thing, Kara Jo Minter, she was a kid that was lost and in this system. And then they needed a kid to fit that, fit her, she fit the role of being that kid, And so being her, there was a lot of call for her in those kind of movies back then. She was the prostitute on Mask. She was the girl with an attitude that says, your mama suck if I suck. If I'm a bitch, your mama's a bitch, and all that stuff. So she fit that role. And so lots of people, hey, let's get Kelly Jo Minter. Yeah, she plays that very good. And she's cute, right, yeah. So that's how. So I was right to crush on her Because it's like, yeah, because those are the type of girls I was trying to do time with in hell and get, let's get out of hell. She was even more of an attitude that I could relate to, and she'd relate to me than the Pettis girls and Rocky and all that. Yeah, so I was right to have a crush on her. Okay, guys, I love you. Let's load this fucker up and let's get to work on cleaning your ass up. If you can't do it, I will, and I'm gonna keep doing it. Why? Cause high's got to be living the Lord's Prayer now. I ain't got time to wait. Polar ice caps can't wait on your work hard bullshit. High and the polar ice caps need my help and not yours. Cause do my best, not your best. Your best sucks. You're selfish. Okay, I love you.